Turned out to be a lot more questions than I expected. I'll try to go through them as quickly as possible. So in the description box I will have all the questions listed with a time frame, so you can just quickly scroll through all of them and maybe click on the questions you're interested in and see what me or my flatmates have to say to them. I separated all the questions into 4 categories. I'll start off with the easy questions, then the tough questions, the second opinion questions, and I'll go over some frequently asked questions. And in the end I'll go through some of the non-uni questions. Despite the fact that I said ask me your university related questions, lots of you asked me non-university related questions. Sorry, I have a blocked nose so my voice seems funny to me. Anaj asks, I remember you mentioned that Bangor feels colder than Moscow because of the fast winds. How do you tackle this? Are the rooms and classes heated? Most rooms and classes are heated, but I remember going into the last exam that we had and I think I got my cold over there because the huge hall, the PJ hall, it was so huge and I was sitting there almost shivering. There must have been some heating, but when the temperature reaches something near 0, the buildings in Bangor, they're not made for this temperature, so you should always wear some extra layers. Wear windproof clothes. Maybe. Are the cafes on campus expensive compared to the ones out of it? Compared to the ones out of the uni, no. But compared to cafes in Southern Europe, definitely. A regular latte can cost you up to £3-4 both in uni and outside of uni, and that will hurt your wallet. Is it hard to get accommodation for less than 4k in budget halls like Rachel, or Bryn Nathan? And what happens during the festive period? Can I stay there or will I have to move out? I feel like it's as hard to find a room in budget halls as it is in normal rooms because there's quite a bit of competition and first year students are given priority in getting accommodation in university halls first. As for the holidays, you are renting your room in halls for about 41 to 43 weeks. I believe, and you can stay in your room for the whole period, so over Easter, over Christmas, but you will have to move out during summer, and that's when you have to find out what to do with all the stuff that you've accumulated. Is that a word? Yes. Accumulated over the year or years of staying in halls, and it's a completely different story. It's quite tough because there is only one storage facility around here in Bangor. It's quite pricey and you have to find friends who can take care of your stuff over summer. Can we study in the library overnight? If I'm not mistaken, Bangor University has 3 main libraries that are separated mainly by their subject. So we go most often to the Daniel Library, which is focused on sciences, biological sciences. During your introduction, the uni will tell you lots about the university libraries and when you can access them, but you cannot go to the library during summer holidays or Christmas holidays, for example, and often you can go to the library during late hours. During exam periods, most libraries are open 24/7, but just to make sure, I will leave a link in the description below next to the question that you posted with the link where you can see the open hours for all the libraries here in Bangor. I heard Bangor is a good place for adrenaline junkies. How much do you agree with that? Well, I hope that by adrenaline you mean not running away from the police with 2 kilograms of cocaine on you. But if you join the right clubs or societies here in the university, or you're just an adventurous person, you can start rock climbing, windsurfing, I don't know, scuba diving. You can have a look at all the clubs that offer different types of sports in the link that I will also post below. I couldn't see anything related to football, soccer. Does Bangor not have a football team? Bangor does have a men's and women's football team. You can click on the link in the description below and it will take you right to underbangor.ac.uk, I think. How fast is the internet speed at Bangor? Finally, a question that I personally really like. Internet speed varies a lot. I will start off with just basic internet, not mobile internet. In halls, the internet can go as low as 5 megabit per second and it can go as high as 40 megabit per second, while in the uni it's normally around 25, it can go up to 40 megabit as well. The libraries, they also tend to have really good internet. As for mobile internet, there are some places that have very low coverage. If you have the right phone operator and if you're in the right location, you can get up to 50 megabit per second, or 50 megabit per second sometimes, which is pretty cool. Can you torrent stuff in Wales, or is that illegal there? Yes, another techie question. By torrenting, I assume that you mean downloading stuff illegally, not transferring large files. Yes, it's illegal to download pirate stuff here, but why join the Navy if you can be a pirate. If you know how to use VPNs or Tor, I don't think you will have any problems, as long as you know how to hide your way around here. Ashley Lim asks, is the overall public transport expensive in the UK? What is the cheapest mode of public transportation? Yes, it is really expensive. It is important to buy a rail card, and as a student in the UK you can buy a 16 to 25 rail card, which will save you a third of all your trips on the train. A trip to Manchester, for example, from Bangor will cost you £30 there and back. A trip to London can cost you £40 to £45 there and back. Those tickets are really good prices. If you don't have a rail card and you buy a ticket at the wrong time, you might end up paying more than £100. There is also the option of coach buses. They're quite cheap. You can go to London for about £7. It is a 10-hour journey on the bus, but it saves you money. What else? You can also find people who drive from Bangor to London once in a while, and you can do car sharing with them. Or if you mean transport around Bangor, a day pass in a bus around Bangor costs about £5. Pretty much the same question. What are the possibilities of a student going to London from Bangor every weekend, or say Chester from Bangor every day, purely based on cost and traffic? As soon as you get the hang of the British transport system, you will most likely not have problems with transportation. It's not too difficult to understand. Though after taking dozens of trains here in Bangor, I still find changing at stations quite confusing. There is not always a person at the station who can help you, so you need to run around. To me and a bunch of other people, going to London is quite pricey, but if you have the money, it's no problem, because there is a direct train going from Bangor to London, and it's about 3.5 hours. So if you have the money, nope, I just said it. Is it easy to get around UK and navigate the public transport system? For example, I spent a year in New Zealand studying and had no trouble thanks to their very helpful. It's not too difficult, especially when you have a mobile connection and a knowledge of the English language. If you are lost at the station, sometimes there are workers there who know all the timetables, and they seem to be working there for decades, so they know the schedule in and out. Besides, everyone knows where Bangor is. I'm very much an app person myself, so my app recommendations for you are Trainline. You can buy your tickets and track the journey as well, and they have a very pretty user interface. Then Maps.me, which is an free offline map app, and Google Maps can also be quite useful. I heard that people in Wales and generally in the UK are very conservative and rather closed off. Is this true based on your experience there? It's a very, very touchy topic. I will try not to say anything rude. Generally, people in Wales are very nice. I feel like I don't tend to talk to that many Welsh people. Kind of afraid to say stuff incorrectly, because people in the UK, they are very politically correct. So yeah, that's the first point. You also have to be careful about what you say about LGBT. People in the UK also tend to apologize like 100 times, which is funny. People are conservative, and people are not closed off, but very often they are focused on themselves. That's why it might be slightly difficult for you to make contact with some people when you move here, but you'll get used to it. It's not that difficult, didn't I? Are there many wildlife-related associations and organizations that a student could get involved in Bangor? Any society in Bangor has several organizations that are associated with it. For example, I'm a member of the Bangor University Herpetological Society, and once in a while we have meetings that involve organizations that sometimes sponsor or work together with the society. So I, as a student, could possibly ask to join the organization, and that's how it works with any other society here in Bangor. I will post a link of the societies down in the description below so you can have a look at them. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about studying zoology in Bangor University? Whenever we have a lecture, I can clearly see that all the lecturers, they're fascinated with their animals of interest, for example, rattlesnakes or jellyfish or cichlid fish or crabs. The least favorite thing. I mean, in terms of education, Bangor is pretty great. Every lecturer here in Bangor has a different approach to their students, and some of the lecturers, they know how to explain their subject, while others, they clearly know what they're talking about, but they're not very good at explaining it to their students. What changes have occurred during your second year of zoology at Bangor in relevance to your studies? Did you expect them? How are you handling it? Okay, that's a super broad question. First of all, I know that as a second year student you're walking around the university and the city and you know your way around, and if somebody asks how to get to Baruno or how to get to PJ, you're like, I know where it is, it's over there, and everyone listens to you and you earn the respect. If you're talking about education, first year pretty much gives you the basal knowledge. First year pretty much gives you all the basal information you will need for your second year, where you will be learning new stuff, and the third year is writing a dissertation and learning subjects that are based on the knowledge from your second year. Did I expect the changes? Yes, I did. How am I handling the change? I pretty much switched to my favorite sleep cycle, so I sleep mostly during the day whenever I get the chance, and I like staying up late. Yannick Roos, I think I pronounced your name right, asks, what are you studying / majoring in university? I'm currently studying, what am I studying? The bachelor's degree for zoology with herpetology. Vilbebagens Keningol asks, hi, are you from Denmark, right? I just want to know how it is to study like an international student in the UK. And where did you start when you wanted to apply or was interested in studying in the UK? Yeah, jag kommer från Denmark. Well, first of all Europeans are not considered international students. It's a bit complicated. So international students is anyone who is not in Europe, Norway or Switzerland, and people from Norway, Switzerland and Europe are considered home / EU students, and British people are considered home students. I think I got it right. My camera just stopped recording. Amazing! My nose is so blocked. I can't do anything about it, the spray doesn't help. But yeah, being an international student is pretty awesome because you're the minority here, you're the one who creates you create the atmosphere, and whenever you meet another international student, it's a very special connection. Back in my school I used to have like a counselor who was supposed to help me find my future education and life. She introduced me to a system called UCAS where you can find courses that you're interested in online across all of the UK, and I didn't have my hopes up that much because I was looking for a very specific course, which is herpetology. But when I looked up herpetology in UCAS, I found this university, and this is the only place in Europe where you can study this course as a bachelor's degree. I think there's another place somewhere in Hungary where you can study it as a master's, but that's pretty much the reason why I'm here. Asad Roy asks, is there a Pakistani student association on campus? I don't think so. I've never heard of one, I've never seen one, but if you really want to, you can create it as a society and there will be a Pakistani student association. Cheapest accommodation on campus. Also any international student entrance scholarships we can take advantage of. I mean, you could have a look at the website, and we're gonna link it in the description, and have a look at all the halls and their prices, but I will do it for you. So as you may or may not know, there are two accommodation sites here in Bangor. One is St. Mary's, the other one is Fridaith. And on St. Mary's the cheapest hall is Bryn Athen, while the cheapest accommodation on Fridaith are Borth, Kefnikoid, and Deladeer and Glider. You might be eligible for some type of scholarship, but it really depends on your situation and your nationality and stuff, so you need to email or call in to the international office and they will definitely help you. So I'm gonna leave the details of the contact information down below as well. Now we're going on to the tough questions. Anaj asks, as I and many students have a conditional offer, can I book my accommodation before my final result comes out, in case I already want a specific room and don't want the rooms to be booked till my results come out in late May? I'm not too sure, to be honest. If I remember correctly, in order to book a room in the accommodation on site, you will need your student ID number, which is the 9-digit number starting with 500. If you have received a letter of confirmation from the university, you might already have the number and you might be eligible to book a room. But just to be on the safe side, it's better if you email the halls office. They know way more about it than I do, so I will leave their contact information below in the description as well. You can also call them if you want. If I'm calling from outside the UK to the UK, I call through Skype and I use Skype credit. It's way cheaper than calling through your normal mobile plan. Oh, this is tough. What about living expenses? How much does an average student spend, excluding accommodation, per month? A rough estimate will be good for me, and what if I budget my expenses? It's a very touchy subject, and the estimates, they vary like a lot. I could try to give you an estimation of how much you might be spending when you move into university at first. I spent approximately £150, maybe 170 or up to £200 just on the basic stuff I need, like pens and notebooks and woks, pans and plates and bed sheets. I also spent around £150, maybe a bit less, on food during my first month because I need to buy all the cupboard food as well, all the herbs and salts and beans and pasta and all the other student food. But these estimates, they vary a lot, and these are just the initial prices. Your normal shopping will be around £10 to £20 approximately if you shop like a student. You might be eating out as well, and it can vary from one coffee per month, which can be around £5, to eating out quite often, so it's gonna be up to £100 per month. If you want to send a parcel back home, it can easily cost you around £10 to £15. Then you also need to pay for your phone bill, depending on the data plan that you're using and how much internet, for example, you need. I have 30 gigabytes of data, and I'm paying £20 a month for that, which is quite pricey compared to like Russian standards. Then you need to consider stuff you'll be buying online, if you'll be doing purchases on Amazon, or if you have like subscriptions for iCloud, or if you're planning on buying clothes, you should account for that as well. And if you will need to buy some medicine, you should expect to lose £5 to £20 going to the pharmacy. That is just over-the-counter stuff if you need to buy ibuprofen or something. If you're a local or a European student, I think, or just an international, I think if you're an international student and you go to the doctor's and she gives you a prescription, you get that prescription for free as a student, which is really awesome. Don't forget to account for the finances that you're planning on spending on transport, for example, and if you are planning on keeping a pet, you should account for that as well. I don't know if I missed out on anything, but I know for sure that there are people out there who spend way less than I do, and there are people that eat out every day and they splurge a lot, so the estimates, they're very, very different. Just like in real life. If I were you, I would definitely get an app and track your spendings. You can click up here to have a look at the video that I did for my university where I'm talking about the apps I'm using. I'm also talking about the apps that I use for my budgeting. How many students are there in a general course like Biomedical Sciences? I'm not sure honestly, but I looked it up and it says the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences with over 3,000 students and 300 academic and administrative staff. That's quite a lot. I know that in a lecture room we're very rarely more than 400 students, but you will also have small classes like tutorials where you'll be sitting in a room with less than 10 people. Again, it varies a lot. It depends on the class that you're taking, it depends on the subject that you're taking, and it depends on the lecture room. What is the exam pattern and the kind of exams held? MCQ or what? Question mark. Again, I can only base my knowledge on my own school, but here in the School of Biological Sciences we have a mix of everything. I know that some subjects have oral exams, they're called interviews. You answer a question that you prepared for this oral exam orally. Most often here in our school we have MCQs, and they can be different. They're either online MCQs where we sit at home with our own computers and we just fill out the test on the university website. The MCQs can also be taken in the university. They're a bit more formal. Huge hall where you're surrounded by like hundreds of students and you sit there in complete silence, and they're like invigilators walking up and down the rows of students. Then we also have SAQs, short answer questions, more like small essays, and those are structured pretty much in the same way as the formal MCQs with the invigilators in the silence. In the beginning of every subject, every course, you'll be explained what the exam pattern is going to be like. Ashley Lim asks, what is the daily cost of living in Bangor? I understand that this is relative to every student, but no average. I can't even read. Yeah, you're right, it's a very difficult estimate. I already answered the financial question above. Sometimes students don't leave their houses for weeks and they don't spend any money at all on a daily basis because, for example, during our exam periods we just stay at home and we stock up with food. When exams are over, I know some people go out and they spend like £100 and celebrate. It really depends. it depends on the person, depends on the budgeting. I'll say it like this, some people spend £20 on food per day, some people spend £20 on food per month. Is wildlife, aside from birds, easy to come across in Bangor? Honestly, I only see seagulls, blackbirds and snails around here. In theory, there are other animals. I know that up in Anglesey there are rabbits, and I know that there should be some snakes and lizards around here, but I've never seen any. I don't even have that many pigeons here. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about studying in Bangor University? It's a really tough question again, but I think I have one answer for both of them. It's a small city. If it was a large city, the type of city I love, like New York or Berlin or Moscow, I would not be able to focus as well as in this tiny place because there are not that many things to do here. If I'm in London, for example, I would always be tempted to go out and do stuff, go to an exhibition, Museum of Natural History, that new fancy cafe that just opened. Here in Bangor, you have the 10 cafes and you're not really tempted to go out to them, and you just sit here in this gloomy weather and you enjoy your studies and you're not distracted. What is your favorite thing about living and studying in Bangor? Okay, I need to pick one thing. One thing. That would be the fact that I study in the UK, and I've heard so much about the great British educational system. So right now I'm experiencing the great educational system. What are 10 things that you would do differently if you could go back in time and relive your first year of doing zoology at Bangor University with all the knowledge and wisdom you have today? Now this one is the toughest so far because I had to sit down and list like 10 things. I could only do 8, I'm sorry. I don't think I would change stuff that much. I believe in the butterfly effect. Number 1, not to fly a drone in the room, because I ended up kind of scratching the walls and leaving stains on them, so I spent a good 3-4 hours trying to tape them up and hide them with whiteout, and it was a waste of time. Number 2, I would not want to forget my room keys in my room when I'm campus, because every single time I forgot my key I had to pay like a certain fee. That was a waste of money. The third one is I'd pay attention to the train schedules, as once I accidentally got onto a train to Edinburgh instead of London because the difference in the train departure times was 4 minutes, and I thought that my train was just leaving a bit earlier. Stupid of me. The fourth one is not to invest so much into books recommended by the teachers. If they're recommended, it doesn't mean that they're necessary. You can always find stuff similar to it online, and if you really need the book, buy it. But I bought one book for about 50 quid and I haven't never opened it so far. The fifth one is I would probably want to invest more time into socializing during my first week as a fresher. Maybe not going out to freshers, but just spending more time with international students. Number 6 is travel more around the UK, which is still a goal of mine. I've been here for a year and a half and I've been to very few places, and I really want to go to like Scotland, and I want to go to Northern Ireland and Ireland, and I want to travel around Wales as well, and all I'm doing is sitting here and recording this video. Number 7 is spending more time on background reading and listen more carefully to classes I didn't think were important, because those classes, they turn out to be very important right now. And number 8 is probably not to bring that many clothes with me, because I brought a bit too much and it's a drag to move from place to place, from like halls to a house with all the stuff that I kind of accumulated. Now we move on to the part with the second opinion questions. I was having a little bit of trouble answering them, so I got my housemates together so they could help me answering them. All my flatmates together. And Anj asks, I don't want to pack a lot. Can you please stop making noise? You're not really.
Sorry, carry on.
I don't want to pack a lot of stuff, being an international student. Is it easy to find good stores for winter wear in Bangor, and how expensive are they, or what? Question mark.
There's an outdoor shop which sells like the thicker clothes, which is quite expensive.
UK is expensive.
Then there's the other shops like H&M and Debenhams, like the other clothes shops.
That's not really one.
If you buy in the winter, they'll have the seasonal stuff, but because you come in the summer, they won't have
It
it.
depends where it's from. Like, I haven't got any warm clothes. Like, my warm clothes are literally society hoodies.
Yeah, I'm just an idiot.
Bangor's not
Or just
that
get cold.
cold.
Yeah.
Would you recommend to bring like a warm jacket?
Yes.
Yeah, a warm jacket. But I think
Bring a warm jacket.
I think
Waterproof coat.
yeah, I think waterproof more than.
How do the parties work in Bangor, and how often do they happen?
Well, I have not stopped drinking since New Year, so yeah.
No, there are two main clubs, student clubs.
It's free.
that's the reason why you go such
Right, say what do you know, right?
I'm pretty sure they do something every day, every night, right?
They do,
Yeah,
but
but
it's not
they're not. Yeah,
In general, something happens every night in Bangor. More on the weekends, I assume, right?
yeah, like killer clowns.
Yeah, Friday nights rock B&D.
But it's mostly just pubs. Like,
Yeah, the pubs are good. There's always pub crawls.
Yeah, there are like 64 pubs in Bangor, if I'm not wrong.
That was pretty sad.
Please tell me more about the Campus Live event. Calendars. What kind of event? We stole one of these from one of the halls. How often do they happen?
Every day, basically. We did Star Wars night. Star Wars night was awesome.
Lots of stuff is happening on Campus Live, and
Yeah, we did gorge walking.
yeah, and
The last
it's,
year
it's
we
free,
did.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's free, and you get to go out and travel and stuff. Sometimes you have to pay. I know they have like trips to Cardiff and
Yeah,
Manchester.
if they do bounce below, you have to pay for tickets, but it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, like we did kayaking, stand up,
Paddleboarding.
yeah.
Paddle-
For free.
yeah.
Then
Yeah.
And it's all free. It's
and there's also stuff like
we
we
did
like
mountain walking.
y'all did mountain walking.
Yeah, I still have scars.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
A lot of cooking stuff.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They
Pizza,
also
Come dine with me.
Come dine with me.
yeah, come
Yeah.
down with me, like the competition. event.
Yeah.
And they do Sunday roast, I think, and they also do.
George had like that much cookie dough.
Oh yeah, I know.
It was beautiful.
Oh, and they also say like I think they have curry nights as well. They have curry
They do,
nights.
yeah,
And
and
they
they,
have like
yeah.
Sunday roast.
They do
We'll
a
make-
Christmas dinner.
We also make pizzas.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Oh, that was so good. And,
Yeah, they have lots of events.
During
A lot of food
during the
events.
exams, they do chip buddies. Chip buddies at bay.
Oh yeah, we did that right in revision time. Cheap buddies.
Yeah, I had so many chip buddies.
Oh you guys call that yeah, but yeah, in the morning
Yeah.
you have hot chocolate for a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a cheap/normal bicycle to get around the university, how much will that cost me?
Oh, well, you can get it for free from the uni, from the SU.
We tried.
You,
Mango and I we
It's
tried.
okay.
It didn't work. We still don't have our
Um,
bikes.
second hand or like an actual new bike?
It doesn't say.
Because second hand can go from like £10 basically
Yeah.
if someone's trying to sell them, but if you're buying like a
I'm pretty sure the noise from the washer is so loud.
pause it.
but like
What's that?
I would
Wash it.
say
Can I do that?
I
You can
can
pause
say.
it.
I'd say like a second hand like normal bike would be around £40.
It's half price for a unicycle.
Oh. Sorry for the noise. Thanks, Kana.
Do you have to re-record everything?
Another question. Please tell me about the nightlife and the city life at Bangor. I don't really understand the part that says city life.
I think they mean like what you can do in
Village life.
towns. I think what you can do in the city. Well, Friday markets is one thing.
On Fridays, yeah, there are markets and they have BAPs.
You get babs from the butchers. There's vegetable markets.
When you walk down High Street, it looks like a strange Chinese market because lots of people bring like fake Beats headphones there to sell and
That was like a
It's
traditional
like
English
average.
market.
Eat so much of Chinese takeaways.
There's lots of veggie places.
Freak shakes as well.
Oh, do you know what I found out? The Indian takeaway?
The what takeaway?
The takeaway that we always get.
Yeah.
It's an actual restaurant.
Alright, back to the talk show, yeah.
we're still on that topic.
Nightlife.
Nightlife is mainly, like I said, 64 pubs, 2 clubs. PEEP is for like, everyone to go to academies run by the SU, so that's
Cheaper and student nights.
cheaper and it's more safer as well, I'd say. Okay, there's also lots and lots of house parties, so once you make friends, right, there'll be birthday parties, house parties like every other.
I cannot answer this question. Being a biomedical science student, I would like to know if the research standard of the uni is actually good as it is advertised. Do I know anything about it?
No.
No.
Yeah, I've heard it's good, but I don't.
But they're really new.
Yeah.
How good are the teachers at the university?
Depends which teacher you have. You have teachers which are really, really good at teaching and really, really horrible at answering questions and mocking your work. So he's an amazing lecturer.
I don't think you're in
Oh,
the
you
job.
said his name on oh.
He's a bit of a sarcastic bastard when he mocks your work. Yeah.
To a large extent, yes, they are good. They know what they're doing and they provide useful feedback to students.
Mango, you're being too quiet.
Yeah.
What are the general people like in Wales?
Locals?
I don't know what he means by the question.
Yeah, I think they mean locals.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really know because I don't talk to locals. I'm mostly big Canadian.
Do any of you talk to locals?
Yeah, I do. Oh, I think like
What
since,
did you think of people in Wales
I think
compared
it's
to
since
Singapore?
it's a student town, right? People are a lot more friendlier here.
Ashley Lim asks, is the traffic horrendous in the UK?
No.
What are the peak traffic
In the
hour
UK.
times?
Oh, look, how about we bring it
Oh,
up
yeah,
in the
Katie.
UK? Yeah.
Katie, is the traffic horrendous in the UK? Wait,
I swear.
just wait for it.
It's not fair. I'm not. I'm in what?
It's loud. The microphone picks up. Is the traffic bad in the UK?
In towns and cities, it generally is.
Well, in
Bangor's,
London, yeah.
Bangor's made a lot worse because it's a one-way system around the whole of the town. So if you want to go like that way, you have to go around the whole of the town, which is inconvenient but good for pedestrians. It's good for us.
You only get like traffic at very specific times. In terms around the whole UK, I'd say it's around 5 to 7.
Like anywhere else when people are going back from work?
Yeah, I'd say 8 to 10 a.m.
Yeah.
because that's like work times.
And 5, 6.
Yeah, 5 to 7. And also it gets pretty bad around here, like 2 till 3, because that's when schools are let out. 9 times out of 10 in Bangor it's quicker to walk.
Does water need to be paid for in the UK? Back in New Zealand,
Yes.
I'm not done reading.
Sorry.
Back in New Zealand, we never had to pay for water, unless of course we wanted bottled water. But we did not have to pay for water in restaurants, and I understand that most countries do not have the same principle.
Okay, any public place which sells food, you are legally allowed to walk in and ask for tap water, and they have to give you a glass of tap water for free.
Yeah.
Does it always happen?
Yes.
I mean, I've never been charged for water in pubs and restaurants in Bangor.
Legally you have to, but a couple of places, if you just go in and ask for water and you're not staying and you're not like buying anything else, they'll give you bottled water and ask you to pay for it, but you can send it back and be like, no, I want tap water.
Yeah, a glass of water is always.
Yeah, they'll just be like iffy with it, but if you ask for tap water, you will always get it for free. And you have to pay for water when
purchase
you
a
live
bottle.
in accommodation.
Are we?
Yeah, so there's like a water charge, but it's normally covered by your landowner. But if you have to pay for bills, if you're not living
So
in
our
student
bills
accommodation,
include water.
our bills include water.
What should a student coming from a tropical country be prepared for regarding the cold seasons and the rainy seasons, and how should they prepare for it aside from buying the thickest, warmest, thickest coats available in stores?
Actually,
Waterproof. Yeah.
don't buy your warmest, thickest, warmest clothes. Yeah, you're gonna die. I think the coldest we have had is -2,
Yeah.
which is not very cold, and I think I can go out. I'm from a tropical country, Singapore. It's 30s, high 30s. So if I can go out,
I think he's from Malaysia.
close enough. If you're from Malaysia,
Malaysia.
if you're from Malaysia, then yeah, prepare for the rain. Yeah, it's same as monsoon season. So yeah, don't bother with umbrellas because they will not last a day here. The winds
So-
are really strong.
How should the person prepare? Does he mention there or something?
Raincoat.
Yeah, buy waterproof stuff.
Yeah, raincoats. It's not much of cold here actually. It's just wet.
Buy something with like a really big hood.
Does Bangor University have any animals on site that students will be able to work with aside from the animals in the herpetology club and the writing club? So, do we have any animals on site that we can work with aside from herpes?
Puppy calming days.
You're not. I think there's the aquarium, but it's the same concept as the reptile room. You can volunteer there, or if you can work there if you've got a final year project on it. So that's about it. I don't think there are any other animals on site. We are one of those very few unis with zoology courses, but with no zoos.
Are insects a huge worry in Bangor in the UK? Here in my tropical country, Malaysia, insects, especially mosquitoes and ants, are everywhere and quite a nuisance. While in New Zealand, the only insects my peers and I regularly came across.
To be honest, the UK is so freezing that nothing can really breed.
We have lots of mosquitoes in Russia.
Katie doesn't. Remember, Katie didn't know about mosquitoes until we told her what they were. She was like, mosquitoes.
That's
Yeah.
a mosquito? I thought that was a large fly.
Yeah, like Katie didn't know that mosquitoes existed until we told her. So that's how cold it is.
Last huge question. I don't even know how to answer it. What should a student studying zoology at Bangor this September be prepared for, and how to prepare for it?
Prepare for rain. Not rain. Yeah.
What are you talking about? It doesn't even rain that much in Bangor.
No, not this year actually, yeah. It rained a lot last year. How can a student prepare for the course?
At least do some background reading on the subject before.
Did you do it?
beforehand.
No.
Well, no, I didn't, but like, it
None
would
of- none of us
have
did.
been helpful. It would have been helpful.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Mentally prepare yourself for assignments, because you won't have anything for the first couple of months and you'll think that you're already getting through uni and you're on top of life and everything is going great, and then they'll hit you with like 20 assignments and 4
That is
exams
true.
and you'll be in a pit of existential despair.
That is true. This university is not very good at planning out assignments and exams, so you can have like a month or two of doing pretty much nothing, and then you have exams and assignments at the same time, or they can give you a reading week to prepare for exams like 2 months before the actual exam.
I mean, we survived, so can you.
Bring more pants and socks than you think you need, because they
Underwear. Everyone knows them as pants.
Yeah.
don't know what pants are.
Pants
We
are
don't use
these
pants.
things.
Yeah, we don't use pants.
You guys are weird. They're
It's
trans.
not-
No, wait.
I'm gonna do a voting thing.
No.
So in the top right corner over here, click on pants or trousers, the one you prefer. If this is pants, click on pants. If pants are underwear, click underwear. Asad Rai asks, what are the prospects of finding student employment on or off campus, specifically for international students?
Apparently for international students it depends on your timing as well, because usually not many places are keen to hire international students, but if you get here extra early and before other students get here, you might be able to land a job.
Back to me. So now the frequently asked questions. The Game Wizard 99 asks, hey, I'm applying for Zoology as well for September 2017 entry. I was wondering what grades you had in what subjects to get in because I'm really worried that I might not have enough. Hello. So I applied for university with my IB grades, the International Baccalaureate. The requirements for me to get into my course were to get 36 points in my higher level biology class, but I only got 34, 35. So I emailed the university and I kindly asked them to accept me, and so they did. Dominika Zatkova asks, hey, I would like to know if you're happy with the uni. Teachers, classmates, thanks. Yes, I am really happy with the uni. Eva Chimaridis. I don't know, sorry. Hi George, I was just wondering if there were any international students that arrived a day or two after when most international students arrived, and if so, was it a problem for them? No, it's no problem at all. You just email the university saying that, or the halls of residence where you'll be staying, saying that you'll be arriving a bit earlier. Amelia Davis asks, hi George, thanks so much for this video. I wonder if you know whether students in Fridaith can use facilities like the shop and pool table up in St. Mary's. How much further would you say St. Mary's is to campus? I'm having trouble deciding which accommodation to apply for. Yes, students from Fridaith Village can easily use all the facilities in St. Mary's and vice versa. After all, it belongs to the same university, and Fridaith Village has a larger gym, so people tend to go over there instead of the one in St. Mary's. St. Mary's, despite being located on the hill, still is only 10 to 15 minutes of walking away from the main arts building, and it's about 6 minutes away from High Street, so it's a really quick walk actually, despite the fact that I said that ask me your university related questions. A bunch of you asked me non-university related questions. Артем Алексеевич Незвинский asks, с какого района сам? Если ты имеешь в виду в России, то я из Москвы. А если здесь, в Бангоре, то Gwyneth Felix Lopez asks, hvor er du fra? Jylland, Fyn, Sjælland? Jeg skulle godt høre det fra min accent. Kommer det fra Sønderjylland? Jeg skulle godt høre det. Godt høre det fra min accent. Kommer det fra Sønderjylland? Jeg kommer fra Sjælland. John Fisher said, you're very lucky to have had the opportunity to study at Bangor. Excellent uni and beautiful location. Thank you. Yannick Roos asks, how is moving Russia to Wales? It's a very big question. It's a tough question, Yannick. I'm sorry, I can't really answer it right now. Katie M, who is my flatmate, asks, what are your flatmates like? I've heard they're very nice, but I want to know from you. Then she asked this to try to make me feel uncomfortable or something. It won't work, Katie. What's the gay life like? Are the gay pubs? I mean, the gay life is okay, I guess. Quite a lot of LGBT people around here compared to Denmark or Russia. Then Felix Lopez asks again, Tjente du hjemmeværnet? Nee. Do you want me to do a normal Q&A where you can ask me questions like where I'm from and what my actual name is iOS better than Android, and have I ever doubted my educational preferences? If so, just leave a comment down below. I might do a video. But I think I'm done answering all the questions. Thank you for submitting them. There were quite a bit of questions. It was tough. Sitting here sipping on my hibiscus tea, all happy. I can finally put a check mark next to this video that I just recorded. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You're very, very welcome to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.